Crocodiles are large reptiles found in tropical regions of Africa, Asia, the Americas, and Australia. They are members of the order Crocodilia, which also includes caiman, gharials, and alligators. There are 13 crocodile species, and they range in size. The smallest, the dwarf crocodile, grows to about 5.6 feet or 1.7 meters in length and weighs 13 to 15 pounds or 6 to 7 kilograms. The largest, the saltwater crocodile, can grow up to 23 feet or 6.5 meters in length and can weigh up to 2,000 pounds or 907 kilograms. Canada, the second largest country in the world, is home to a vast array of wildlife, from black, brown, and polar bears to wolves, reindeer, walruses, and orcas. No one can deny that Canada has a lush biodiversity covering the country, but there are plenty of species that are not found there. Here, we ask the question, why are there no crocodiles in Canada? Although alligators and American crocodiles live further south on the North American continent, they do not venture northwards to Canada. The climate there is largely a continental climate, with severe winters in the north. Rivers and seas are frozen over, and parts of the Canadian Arctic do not see sunlight for months at a time. These conditions are not suitable for crocodiles. Instead, the distribution of crocodiles across the world is nestled within the tropical regions of Africa, Asia, Australia, and the Americas. They are cold-blooded animals and therefore cannot create their body heat. Instead, they rely on the external temperature for warmth, something that Canada can't offer. But this wasn't always the case. Once, Canada was a completely different place. Rewind 100 million years, and Canada met the criteria for ideal crocodile climate and habitat. Global temperatures were several degrees centigrade warmer than today, and dinosaurs ruled the world. The period in time was called the Cretaceous, an era that lasted from about 145 to 66 million years ago, defined by high sea levels, minimal ice coverage, and the end of the dinosaurs. During this time, Canada and North America were hardly recognizable. The North American continent wasn't connected to the south, and volcanoes were creating new land to the west, whilst mountain ranges were emerging to the east. During much of the Cretaceous, Canada's open prairies that we are familiar with today were deep underwater. The entire North American continent was split in half by the Western Interior Seaway, with Laramidia to the west and Appalachia to the east. The Rocky Mountains were beginning to emerge, creating lush coastlines. In Canada's lowlands, tropical forests existed interspersed with rivers and creeks, marshes, and wetlands, very different from today. Canada during the Cretaceous provided an ideal habitat and climate for crocodiles. Paleontologists have discovered evidence of crocodiles in Canada. Some of this evidence has been found north of Tumbler Ridge in northeastern British Columbia. Today, Tumbler Ridge sits in the foothills of the Rockies and near the confluence of the Murray River and Flatbed Creek. Large coal deposits in the area indicate the site was a swampy forest during the Cretaceous. It has become a hotspot for fossil hunting, with fossils from Ankylosaurus, Hadrosaurus, theropods, ichthyosaurs, Cretaceous flora, and now prehistoric crocodiles. So, crocodiles did once call Canada their home, but these were no ordinary crocodiles. These were giant crocodiles. Remarkably, these fearsome crocodilians left their mark, literally. After raking the muddy river bottom with their giant claws, the indentations later filled with silt, which became sandstone over millions of years. The unique trackway was so well preserved that even the indentations of the scales on the giant reptile's feet were preserved. Not only that, but the scrapings were found alongside juvenile Ankylosaurus footprints, which suggested that the open plain fluctuated between aquatic and shoreline environments. But what animal did these markings belong to? Whatever it was big. By measuring the distance between the claw marks and the prehistoric riverbed, scientists estimated that this creature could have been up to 12 meters, or 40 feet long, double the length of today's largest crocodiles. It was an incredible find, and it is believed that these were thought to be ancestors or precursors of the extinct North American crocodilian, Deinosuchus, and they probably lived 13 million years before Deinosuchus made an appearance. Whilst today's crocodiles feast on a range of fish, small to medium-sized mammals, and sometimes large mammals such as buffalo. The ancient giants would have had different species on their dinner plates. Scientists believe that these beasts, hidden in the murky waters, were apex predators of the time. They would have likely launched themselves out of the water and dragged unsuspecting dinosaurs below the surface when they came to the lakes to drink. So far, scientists have not given a name to this enormous Canadian crocodile, but these giant crocodiles weren't the only ones to bask in Canada's tropical and humid climate during the Cretaceous. Fossils of a crocodilian, known as Terminoneris, have been found in Saskatchewan, Western Canada. These grew to 6 meters or 20 feet, similar to the largest crocodiles we have today, although these didn't exhibit any form of gigantism like the Deinosuchus-like reptiles. They would still have been a formidable sight, with their heads alone measuring 1 meter long. But rather than snatching large prey from the land, these crocodiles mostly fed off fish. They loosely resembled the modern gharial or fish-eating crocodile that inhabits rivers in India, Pakistan, and Myanmar. But unlike the gharial, scientists think that the Terminoneris probably also turned to the small mammals of the time, as well as small dinosaurs when the opportunity arose. The best preserved and most complete fossil ever discovered of a Terminoneris has been named Big Bert. Its replica travels around the country to showcase Canada's prehistoric fauna. The crocodile had a long, slender snout, with many small, sharp teeth ideal for catching fish. Terminoneris inhabited the western interior seaway, the inland sea that split the North American continent in half from north to south during the Cretaceous. Other horrifying predators also lived there, including the long and short-necked plesiosaurs, with a 4-foot-long jaw, housing hundreds of shark-like teeth. These marine reptiles used their streamlined bodies to torpedo through the water to ambush unsuspecting prey. The crocodiles, however, would most likely have stayed in the shallows, closer to the shore where they could bask in the hot sun and grab fish and unsuspecting land animals. Another extinct crocodile once native to Canada included Crocodilis. There has been no reconstruction of the animal's body, but its head was thought to only be 15 centimeters or 6 inches long. Its fossils were found in the upper Milk River Formation of Alberta, and the skull suggests that this particular crocodilian was relatively small. So, not all prehistoric crocodiles were giants, but the Crocodilis was able to survive in the warm climate of Western Canada. The evolutionary history of crocodiles and alligators is fascinating and complex. Today, there are 28 living species of crocodilians across the world. It is thought that this modern group of crocodilians originated in Europe around 145 million years ago. Crocodilians and alligators split from each other in North America, but the ability for the crocodiles to tolerate saltwater meant that they could disperse far and wide whilst alligators remained within the Americas. But what happened to Canada's precursors of modern crocodiles? The giants that once dominated the waterways and interior seaway? Scientists aren't too sure. It seems that some species, like the Deinosuchus, which was found further south in North America, became extinct before the mass extinction event that wiped out the terrestrial dinosaurs. So instead of being obliterated by the meteor impact and subsequent destruction that it caused, Canada's crocodilians must have met their demise another way. They could have been outcompeted by the success of some of the larger dinosaurs or other aquatic animals. They would have competed with plesiosaurs and sharks in the western interior seaway for prey such as fish, sea turtles, and others. Climate change could have played a role in their extinction. Changes to the environment could have been responsible. Scientists know that the river the new giant crocodile's claw marks were found in dried up at one time. This would have left nowhere for the aquatic reptiles to go. Whatever happened to the crocodiles of Canada, they played their part in the evolutionary tree. And as more evidence comes to light, more information about these incredible animals will be unveiled. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. You can also leave a comment with what you would like to see in the following videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.